Hi there. I'm going to try and raise my energy level up, but it's not really happening today. Um, I haven't created videos in a long time. There's reasons for that. The biggest one is that the State Department of Health had previously assessed me for a personal care aide to assist with activities of daily living, just like the basics. Showering, getting dressed in something other than pajamas, food preparation, so I'm getting proper nutrition, washing the dishes so that there's clean counter space to prepare food and clean dishes to eat off of once food is prepared, housework, errands, things like that. So I used to joke around how my aide needed an aide, and that actually turned out to be true. So she ended up hospitalized. Her doctor said, "You can't work anymore." So, so that was that. And because of one of my other medical diagnoses where fragrances, we know it's chemical, but chemicals in fragrances are not labeled in the US, so we don't know which chemicals. So basically, I have to avoid all fragrances. So that's soap, shower gel, perfume, cologne, shampoo, conditioner, laundry detergent, fabric softener, scented hand lotion, scented Febreze trash bags. I mean, all of it is really bad. So there's another video somewhere. Oh, maybe I'll link it in the comments below. Yeah, because I'm not editing this video. There's another video that talks about reactive airways dysfunction syndrome. So because of that, I need somebody that's smoke-free and fragrance-free to come into my home to assist. And in the county that I live in, there's not a single provider, not a one that can do this. I've even gone on to social media and, with volunteer groups and community support groups and begged like total strangers, just put it out publicly, like, hey, these are my needs, and nobody wants to do it. So without an aid, I'm back down to not showering as much. I'm in my pajamas most of the time. Nothing is getting done in the house. And I'm like looking around going like, well, it doesn't look too bad. But for me, that also, disorganization, clutter, and especially knowing that like surfaces aren't clean is, it ramps up my anxiety. So lots of clutter and over visual stimulation tends to just, I don't know, it's just not good for me. So there's that aspect. The other aspect is that I've gone through a very long, difficult, painful, not necessarily physically painful, but emotionally painful diagnostic process that has involved me actually filing a formal complaint against my first neurologist, who not only was exceptionally rude, but told me that I absolutely did not have the medical condition that I absolutely do have, that was confirmed by field experts using specialized electrodiagnostic testing. So not only did the first neurologist waste almost a year of my life, but then I went through a second opinion, and with the second opinion neurologist, I did not lead whatsoever. I went in blind. I didn't even tell them I had seen a previous neurologist. I didn't offer any information. I let them ask the questions about me and my health and my history, and let them come to their own conclusions, because I felt very strongly that I didn't want to influence them of going down an improper diagnostic path. I wanted a real start from scratch. So that wasted more time. But they were a lot more thorough with taking a complete and thorough history. They also did a much more the clinical exam was a lot different, and I believe was more inclusive of an investigation. And they did a lot more testing. So as a result of all of that, they and and they were willing to look at videos I had taken, ongoing photos documenting the variable fatigable ptosis, which you can see a little bit right now. And they conclude the positive ice tests, all of that, and they concluded that there was enough evidence to refer me to the clinical research hospital. So internally within the clinical research hospital, when they got the referral, they referred me internally to the field experts with the Neuromuscular Disease Center. And the co-director of that program ended up being my doctor. So that was like 4.5 hours away, and I won't even get into all the problems with like medical transport and all of that, but sufficient to say I have finally been diagnosed with double seronegative myasthenia gravis. So we're a small cohort of people in the United States, about 10% of people with myasthenia gravis, which is a rare autoimmune neuromuscular disease. About 10% of us have it. Now, previously, the first neurologist did a trial of the generic version of Mestinon, pyridostigmine bromide, which is a cholinesterase inhibitor. Most people are responsive to that, but 10% of people with myasthenia gravis are refractory, which means that either the medications aren't working, or they aren't working sufficiently enough, or the side effects are so severe that they can't take any of the treatments. So the pyridostigmine bromide that the previous neurologist prescribed, he did it at the standard dose, which is 60 milligrams 3 times a day. I am now on 120 milligrams 3 times a day, and I am seeing some slight improvement. It is not the miracle that most people with myasthenia gravis usually have with this, that there is slight improvement, and it has been increasing my levels of energy, like being able to sit upright a lot more. So that's been really, really helpful. But normally they also prescribe prednisone. I'm at a high risk for psychosis, so that's out of the question. I am what's called refractory. And so the third line is immunosuppressant therapy. So immunosuppressant therapy are drugs that are normally used for chemotherapy, or in my case, the one that is being recommended is used when when somebody has an organ transplant, to help prevent the physical body from rejecting the transplanted organ. So you have to suppress the immune system so that the body, the autoimmunity, the body doesn't attack itself. And hopefully that's believed to help control symptoms. But when you're taking, medication like this, it does require a lot of monitoring. So I would need to have monthly blood tests, because it can sufficiently lower the neutrophil count in blood work, and that's what helps fight infection. And a condition called neutropenia can happen, and there's a lot of other things that can happen during the course of taking immunosuppressant therapy, which and it takes several months to a year before we even know if that's going to work. So in other words, I'm having symptoms, they're not well controlled. The first line of therapy isn't working very well. I mean, it's working, but it's not optimal. And so that's all that. So I guess that's all I really wanted to update with right now. I have been reassessed for 21 hours of assistance for an aid. We are still trying to desperately find a smoke-free and fragrance-free aid in my area that can come in for 3.5 hours a day, 6 days a week, to assist. And so hopefully we'll come up with something, because I've got the clock is ticking. I have 29 days to figure that out. I also have a medical alert bracelet now, and they can't reinstate the life alert button in case I have a fall or I start having a breathing crisis, to like summon an ambulance. So I live alone. Yeah, so I'm supposed to carry my phone with me everywhere, but I can't carry the phone into the shower. So, and the shower poses like an increased fall risk. So anyhow, lots of things going on, tons of paperwork, just trying to get connected with services. This county is terrible, and the only reason why I'm here is that I lost my housing due to the breathing disabilities with the original housing that I had. And also I mean, at this point, you know, being over 2 years and not able to work, I definitely would have lost the housing anyhow. My family happens to own the apartment, and it was being used for storage. So some of the rooms got cleared out so that I could be here. So, so that's why I'm in this county and an hour and a half away from friends. And I've been housebound and isolated and away from friends for over 2 years now. I stopped driving in November of 2017 when my legs gave out from underneath me with no warning. That's the myasthenia, of course. So, you know, whatever, it's been really hard to maintain relationships when you've only got a couple of hours of energy every day. So, yeah. And I'm starting to fatigue. I can hear it in my voice, and I'm just feeling it in my body. So, apologies. This isn't all like woo-hoo-hoo, but I did feel like it was important to update and let people know what's going on. So, hopefully, we can start getting some services in place. And I hope to be doing some more videos on things like documenting medical records and how to, you know, deal with getting second opinions and determining when you need one and all that sort of thing, because I don't want anyone to go through the experience that I've been through in the last couple of years. So with that, thanks for watching.